Become Legend is a tabletop role-playing game that may include elements of violence, substance abuse, mental illness, emotional trauma, and may include other mature content or themes. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome to Become Legend, an Ultramodern 5 actual play on the Free Forge. In our last match of Become Legend, the champions and Echo, fresh from their cells thanks to Io's sister Callisto, prepared themselves to escape Stillwater Hold. The plan to walk out the front door and let Io use her abilities to waylay anyone that might stop them was decided upon, at which point Niche quickly modified some prison shackles to aid in the illusion that the champions were prisoners being led to a secondary location by Callisto. At the elevator, as the doors opened, the 7 of them stared back at the faces of 5 individuals that appeared to be guards just coming off shift and getting ready to leave. Before anyone could do anything, Reggie dashed into the elevator, his ultimate activating and the form of his late husband coming out, making quick work of the guard force. The group quickly moved the bodies to the guard station on that floor and returned to the elevator, going down to the main floor. Coming out into the large antechamber, the champions made it to the front desk where the guard captain sat. He stopped them, demanding information as to why Callisto was removing the prisoners. Io, using her persuasiveness and innate abilities, was able to charm the captain, at which point everyone made haste for the exit. As they made their way down to the boat launch, the captain, released from the influence of Io, sounded the alarm, and the group quickly found themselves assaulted by enforcers on both sides. Some of them advanced, and others taking care of the guards at the pier. Niche quickly found a boat she was confident in piloting, and they made their way into the black of night. With combined effort of everyone, the champions were able to navigate back to the large sewer system of Piltover, and Echo was able to guide them the rest of the way back to Firelight Hold. Before reaching the sanctuary, Callisto broke the news to Io that she cannot continue with the group as she is being tracked by their enemy, and after a heartbreaking goodbye, disappeared into the night, promising Io that they won't lose each other again. Returning to the Firelight encampment, the group is greeted by 2 individuals that look similar to Nemo and introduce themselves as his aunt and uncle. Causing Nemo some distress, the rest of the group prepared to go meet with Echo and Heimerdinger, giving Nemo some much-needed space. It is here where our next match begins, as the 4 champions enter the workshop that Heimerdinger had set up. As you follow Echo up into the chamber that Reggie, you had previously been a part of and had joined You hear the turning of wrenches. You see some sparks flying from a workstation across the room that is kind of blocked off as it's got the back paneling on it. And as you walk in, you hear Echo kind of go ahead of you and yeah, I got them. I brought them back. We're here. And you hear a familiar voice from the other side. My gosh, boy. You've all been gone for days. What happened? And as you kind of walk around, you see Heimerdinger standing on the workbench as he's kind of too small, and these are made for humanoid workers, so he tends to climb over and is using tools too large for him. The fiery orange and red hair all scattered and disheveled all over the place. And upon rounding the corner, Heimerdinger seeing you, Reggie, he rushes over and kind of gives you a quick hug. I was completely worried. The things that I've heard. It's very good to see all of you again.
Honestly, I'm surprised we all made it out in one piece.
Yes,
We're grateful to be alive.
I had heard that. Well, you know what? We better go and sit down. We have a lot to discuss. Lots has happened in the last 48 hours. Where is your... never mind. It's fine. You can catch him up later. Come. And you see there's like a set of stairs that looks like they've been fashioned that Heimerdinger probably built himself, that he walks to the far end of the work table and steps down these stairs and leads you over to the same nook, little kind of breakfast nook that Reggie and Heimerdinger had breakfast at before. And one second, and you see him, he's got this new kind of like wristband panel on his arm, and he flips it open and taps a couple buttons, and elsewhere in the workshop you hear something whir to life, and all of a sudden there's mechanical noises that you can hear in the background, and you're kind of not sure what they're doing. And he goes and sits in the far end of the table, and Echo kind of goes over and joins and sits on the other side. Is there anything anybody's doing right away, or are you all just gonna go to the table and join them?
Niche gestures towards Heimer's wrist contraption. So have you always said that, or are you ripping me off now?
I'm not quite sure what you mean, my dear, but I've been hard at work developing things without the pressures of being a council member pulling my attention every which way. I've been able to get back to what I love most, which is science and creation. And as he says that, from around the corner, you hear a loud bang, and shuttling around, you all of a sudden see this like animatronic, like scrap metal type robot looking thing wheeling over with a tray with a teapot and several cups and saucers on it, kind of knocking and spilling some water over. And oh gosh. And you see Echo kind of put his hand in his... Oh, man, I told you it's fine if you work here, but like don't break everything. Our resources are limited. No, my boy, it's fine. It just needs a little bit of calibrating. And the machine kind of wheels over, and Arch, I'm gonna get you to make a dexterity saving throw for me as you're heading over to the table, and this robot just kind of comes driving towards you.
16?
16. Perfect. So you're able to just kind of jump out of the way, slightly bumping into Io as this animatron kind of whizzes past and goes and sets the tray on the table hard, the cups clattering and nothing breaking, luckily. And then Heimerdinger presses some more buttons, and the thing turns away and kind of drives back, and you hear another loud crash in the back. And oh dear. Definitely will need a little bit of work, but, tea, anyone? And kind of hops up and walks across the table on top of the table and starts pouring cups of tea for everybody.
I mean, sure. Do you have a little sweetener? I wouldn't mind a couple lumps of sugar, like, 5, 6, and I like it pretty sweet. Yeah, kind of like me. And like fixes his jacket.
Heimerdinger gives you kind of a quizzical look and then kind of takes the lid that's half fallen off of, and it's got sugar cubes in it. And by all means, help yourselves. Get comfortable before we start this discussion.
If your antics do not kill you, that sugar will.
Oh, you guys wanted some of this? I thought this was just my. Okay, fine. Here, you can.
You
have
know
some.
what? Put in 5 for me. In your own cup.
Is anybody doing anything else, or are you all just kind of joining Heimer and Echo at the table?
Want some tea?
It's
Pretty good.
roll a. If anybody is proficient in nature, they can roll a nature check for me.
Definitely not me.
Nope.
Nobody?
No natures.
I would give Reggie and Arch a nature check at disadvantage because you're not proficient.
12 minus 1. 11.
11?
Yeah.
5.
5. Reggie, you haven't had good tea like this in quite a long time, living in the slight squalor that you have been since removing yourself from Piltover. Arch, there's just far too much sugar in your tea. That's pretty much all you're tasting is sugar at this point. So,
Look at Nisha. I'm like, you probably were right, but I mean, I like a little bit of tea in my sugar.
Just a little bit.
So as you all kind of settle yourselves and sit down, and Heimerdinger's demeanor kind of changes as he sits back down, and you see a Poro come and hop up and sit in his lap, and he begins petting the Poro a little bit, and
Oh,
tosses a sugar cube into its mouth, and yes, well, as you know, things have been taking quite the turn over the last week or so here in our fair cities, and I'm afraid that it's not getting much better. Wait, where are Caitlin and Vi? Were you unable to? Perhaps we should start with you telling us, or telling me, what happened and why you've been gone for so long.
We were double-crossed because of course we were. We took a shit deal and it went worse.
Heimer kind of gives you a little bit of a side eye, Reggie. I was afraid of that happening. I did try and warn you, Reggie.
What did you want me to do?
I'm sure you were put in a position that not many people would be able to make fantastic choices in. But please tell me the full story. And for brevity, we can just say that you explain what happened in the chamber with Jinx and everything like that. We don't need to recap the whole thing again. So as you finish, as collectively you finish telling the story. Oh dear. Yes, it's what I thought.
I can't believe they took my hat. I mean, seriously, I like this Reggie better, but still,
That's right.
it irks you. You know what I mean? Ah.
Judging that I didn't see you with that hat the first time, I'm going to assume that you probably acquired it through ill-gotten means anyway, so
Who else
I'm
do you get it to?
sure you can find another one. I would assume that Caitlin and Vi were likely at Stillwater and probably still are. Unfortunately, if that's where all of you ended up, the shame that they weren't on the same floor and couldn't escape with you, but I suppose that's where we stand. Right. Well, I don't know if you've been able to notice, Jericho Swain is quite a terrible person. I've gotten reports that there's a large fleet of Noxan ships that have left and appear to be heading this way. I'm not sure if Swain or whoever he's working with are planning on using the turmoil that we find our two cities in to try and take some type of hostile takeover, but I wouldn't put it past him. He's a brilliant man and has his fingers in kind of everything, and is always making plays to try and advance Noxus and expand their territory. And with our trade routes and the Hex Gates, might be exactly what he's doing. You say he was working with Casker and Singed?
Yeah.
Appears to be the case.
Oh dear, this is far worse than I anticipated. I know that they were doing tests during the war in Ionia. Singed was selling chemicals to the Noxans and working with them to develop things that could wipe out whole armies without even fighting.
Are they testing on people? Doing
They were
experiments?
testing on entire towns.
Do you
No
think
amount of collateral damage was high enough for them.
Do you think that's what Casker was wanting to use me for when we made that bet that I lost, and now I'm going to be some kind of experiment for him?
Well, my boy, I do know that Singed's latest experiments have all involved different types of chemicals, enhancing one's strength and dexterity and capabilities to create super soldiers. In the event that
So bad.
chemical warfare wouldn't work, I also know that they're working on other drugs that would possibly take over the minds of the hosts who were injected. I never thought it would get this far.
Had you never heard of
Yes.
Swain before? Had you never heard of Singed before? Did you not think that he would do something even more terrible than last time?
I had, but the tenuous peace that Piltover and Zahn had shared for so long was too important to try and break just to capture one man. I didn't think he'd be capable of this. I had heard rumors, but nothing definitive. We didn't have any real proof.
He's hard to pin down with anything specific.
Even the incident and Nishio and Arch, you can roll a oh my gosh, an insight check for me if you would like.
25.
13.
See.
Nisha's eyebrow goes straight up at the word incident because she's pretty sure Heimerdinger isn't talking about anything that happened in Ionia.
Io? 21. So Io and Nish, you would notice when he says that the eyes definitively dart to Reggie, and the expression gets even more dour and melancholic. We managed to broker a peace at the cost of many lives, and I was hoping it wouldn't come to that, and then when everything started happening with Vi and with Jace and the invention of Hextech, and I knew I should have stopped it, but I was overruled. The council made their own decisions, and that's how we find ourselves now. Well, the only way I can see a positive outcome here is if somebody steps up and and stops them before this gets any further.
Someone cleans up after your mess when you had the chance to actually stop Singed and brokered some kind of deal where he gets off and gets to keep doing terrible things. If I'm understanding correctly.
What they said. Yeah.
Oh, you're all so young.
I don't care about how old I am. I don't care about how old you are. I know you are old as dirt. I care about what you've done.
What I've done has always been what I thought to be in the best interest of the people under my command. Everybody makes mistakes, and I will spend the next 300 years paying for the ones that I've already made. I don't doubt that in the slightest, my dear. What I need to know now is if all of you want to make a difference. I don't think I could do it alone, and Heimerdinger looks over to Echo. I just want us to be able to live. You know that, Heimer. We've talked about it. I just want all of this to stop. We need to be equals, Piltover and Zahn. Yes, my boy. Yes. Something I've been blind to for a long time. It was easier to ignore than it was to do anything about, but it doesn't appear as if we have a choice anymore. I believe the enemy of my enemy is my friend, as the saying goes. Echo kind of nods his head, and you know I'll do whatever I can to help. But how are the five of us supposed to go against an entire army? Well, I think the key would be to stop the general before anybody else gets here. Cut the snake off the head, and the body will falter, so they say.
It's not a bad plan.
With the hex gates down, it will take the ships of Noxus quite a while to get here, and if whoever is here already can be stopped before they get here, then they may well just turn tail and run. The other thing is going to be uniting our two cities and ensuring that if war is to come, that we fight together. You know, the four of you have been through a lot the last couple days, have been put to test in things that you had no business in, but if you want to stop Singed, and kind of looks at Niche, if you want to reclaim position, and his eyes kind of go over to Reggie, or perhaps be reunited with your loved one, looking at you, Io, and then, or avenge the loss of a loved one. His eyes kind of fall on you, Arch. I think we can put all our eggs in the same basket and finally put all of this to bed. But
You know,
Echo is right. Sorry, go ahead, Arch.
I was just gonna, after he said that about putting all the eggs in the basket, Arch just kind of looks at Niche and says, you know, we were just giving him crap for not taking a stand when they had the opportunity. Well, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't let the past failures determine the future's choices. You know, Sosin used to say the hardest thing to learn in life is which bridge to cross and which bridge to burn, or something like that. And I think he got it from somebody else. I'm not sure. He might, make it sound like it was him. Anyway, I feel like I might be ready to burn the bridges I had before, and this one might be the one to go across now. If we can actually do something and make a difference. Our experiences, that we've gone over just these last few days, it's not about what happens to us, it's what we do with what's been happening to us. And I feel like we can now maybe make a difference if we do something with we were put here for a reason, right? I don't know. Sometimes I don't make sense. I'm sorry.
No, you have your reason to fight. That is important. Hold on to it. If Heimer's past mistakes are not a problem for you, that is good. For me, he gets nothing. He does not get a pass. We are all responsible for the bullshit we've done. But I also have my own reasons. I came here to destroy Singed. I want revenge for what he has done to me, for what he has done to countless people. Or at least, for a long time, I've been thinking of it as revenge. But in truth, it is balance. That is what I will bring. That is what his death will give. I'm in. And Nish will look to Io and Reggie.
Nish, real quick, roll a religion check for me. Just hold on to the number for now.
All right.
What Arch is saying makes a lot of sense. I've spent a lot of time thinking about my past and feeling sorry for myself and being upset about where I'm at now. But maybe I need to let that go and find my own bridge to cross. And I'm not going to lie to you, I'd also like to see the end of Singed. So I can't envision a scenario where I don't say I'm in. What about you, Io?
I'm here. I'm here to help. I will say that. I do believe Heimerdinger is responsible for his own actions, and we all have our reasons to fight. I'm here to fight.
She didn't even have to pull a card for that.
Certainly won't be boring.
Exactly.
I definitely will. Everybody, it all comes around eventually, and I am willing to face the consequences of my actions head on, as always. It's good to know, but as Echo has stated, we definitely aren't as well equipped as the enemy. But perhaps there are some things that we can do in order to tilt the balance in our favors. I know that Singed's workshop is still based in Zon down here and is not as well protected as Piltover, and there could be some key items in there that would help us take on whatever the threat is that is heading up Piltover now.
Where is it?
Like jewelry. Maybe they have something fancy and shiny.
I do love a heist.
Well, I was thinking more of shutting down the operation and cutting off the supply to make things easier when you do take back Piltover. The other option is there are rumors of something powerful that could be utilized deep under even Zon itself in the old caves on the ruins of Runeterra. Really, it would be up to you. The Singed's workshop could be viable, and you could possibly get something that will be helpful there, but the problem with that route lies that then they'll know you're coming, whereas if you take the underground route and try and find the ancient assistance that I've heard about, then you'll have more of an element of surprise against them. Anyway, you've had a very strenuous last day or so. I'm sure comfortable beds here will be much more preferable to how you woke up in Stillwater. I will continue tinkering. I have some things that could help with either of your missions, but I suggest that you all reconvene and discuss it amongst yourselves and make the decision you feel will be best for your group. and come and see me in the morning, and we'll lay our plans.
Sounds good.
Sound agreeable to everybody?
Yes.
Echo kind of leans back and, well, I'm just gonna say I've got your guys' backs either way. Kind of looks at Io and gives a slight wink. Can't have you all running off and getting killed without me, right?
Do you happen to have any more boards? Kind of lost the last ones.
Yeah, I'm sure all of our boards are kind of gone now, but yeah, we got quite a few. Belong to other people that we've lost in the last. I don't want to get into it.
No, I'm less excited.
I gotta go check on my people and take care of some things. I'm gonna get some rest. I'll meet up with all of you in the morning for breakfast, and we'll figure out what we're gonna do next. Echo kind of puts his arm on Heimerdinger's shoulder, and just because we've made mistakes doesn't mean we can't clean them up. Yes, my boy, I hope you're right. Kind of gives you all a sad look and kind of ushers the Poro off his lap and hops off and kind of walks back and goes up the stairs and puts on a welding helmet, flips it down, and starts working on something again. Echo kind of giving you all a slight nod before he exits the room, and the four of you are left by yourselves. What would you all like to do?
We'll just kind of sit back. Whew. Take another sugar cube and just pop the whole thing in his mouth. Oh, it's rough. I feel like exhausted. Not just from the day, but like the conversation was a little. I mean, who knew we'd be here? You know? I feel like we got a lot going on. Fate may have put us together, but I feel like it's more like dragging us along.
Fate, or whatever you believe it is, has a funny way of things. And, I think there is still more for us to learn. And Niche will look to Reggie. Why did Heimerdinger look at you when he said the word incident?
I may have had some involvement with what happened on the bridge many years ago. I can honestly say I didn't know what was going to happen, and we were just supposed to be testing what we've been working on, and I thought what we were working on was a way to help defend ourselves and our people and our city. That's what it was supposed to be. Nothing more. But Singed, maybe this doesn't surprise you, didn't share everything with me. So I am partially responsible for what happened on that bridge, and that is why I was removed from the council. That's how I made my way to Zahn.
Look, I'm sorry. I was completely paying attention, but am I the only one who's not exactly sure what happened entirely on the bridge? What do we even? I know something bad happened with Singe, right? But
Arch, roll a history check.
natural one.
Yeah, it is.
Accurate.
Yeah, it is.
Do I want the plus? Oh, it's a -1. 0.
Your oh my gosh, I didn't expect you to roll that low.
It's in character.
You have this feeling of heartache when Reggie talks about the bridge and the incident. But for whatever reason, you can't remember why.
I mean,
Like you've almost mentally blocked it out. And the rest of you, with your passive perceptions, would notice that when this mention happens, the amulet around Arch's neck begins giving off a faint blue glow. Not piercing, not bright like usual when you see Arch go through this transformation, but like dull and pulsing almost.
Arch, it was just an explosion on the bridge, and the entire thing was on fire, and there was death everywhere. I wake up every morning and I it's the first thing that pops into my head is it was terrible.
The glow kind of starts to intensify and get a little brighter. Arch, make me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Wisdom save is 11.
Okay.
Huh. I remember the fire when Io and I were talking with Silson, and I do remember something about Singe, but does he... I mean, obviously he's a bad guy, right? So this is pretty simple. We go and we kick his ass and redeem yourself a little bit, right? I mean...
Like Nisha's saying, we're all responsible for the decisions we make, and I have to live with this decision, but we can atone. We can do better. We can try to make up for the bad decisions that we've made in the past, and all I'm looking for is an opportunity to do that.
Your past does not define you, Reginald. You remind me of a card that I have, the Fallen Star. You are not your past.
You know, that's the first time I've heard anything like that since it happened, and I can't tell you how much I needed to hear that.
So what are the four of you doing? Are you going to head back down? The evening is yours. You are now safe.
I would not mind getting some sleep. I mean, I'm barely standing here, guys.
It would be nice to rest and I'd like to check in on how Nemo is doing.
Yeah, you do that and we'll go. Reggie, come here. Come here. I'm gonna, like, give him a hug and put my arm around him and just, like, we're gonna go lay this guy down. He needs some rest, too. And
You'll see that Reggie just immediately kind of, like, a little bit collapses, just like, oh. Like, Reggie just needs that so much right now.
As you start to get up, Niche, what was the religion check you rolled previously?
I rolled a 19, or sorry, I rolled a 15, but I'll use I'll use all 5 of my remaining summoners to make it a 20, because it's interesting when the DM asks you for just a roll about knowledge.
As you all go to get up, Niche, you get up and the world around you goes black. And you hear, soon. And in a flash, you're back in the chamber.
Can you repeat that again?
You heard a voice say, "We'll talk soon," knowing it to be the voice of Wolf. And the world kind of reassembles itself. Just an instant flash, you see everybody getting up at the same speed they were before, as if nothing happened.
Niche falters for a second and then softly to herself, "Of course, right, I am at your beck and call."
So as you...
What?
what was it?
Wow.
Oh,
That's
for
very
you?
good to know.
I owe anything. I still owe you, I think, a drink, maybe 2. It's, I know I skipped a few weeks picking up the bill.
So as you all head downstairs, Heimerdinger doesn't even look up from his work as you exit the room, and you find yourselves back out in that open expanse with the large tree. And as you approach the sectional of kind of double beds that you had slept in the last time that you were here, Niche, you get to the bed where you were, and there's no Nemo. As you're looking around, there's no Nemo to be found. And as you kind of lie down in the bed and kind of put your arms underneath you to go to reflect, you feel your hand bump against something, and you pull out a folded cloth. And as you unwrap it, there is a pistol that you remember from the guard that you had taken down and saved Casker's life a couple nights before, as well as a note. And you are able to open and read it at your discourse. And what would you like to do?
Niche turns the gun in her hand, pretty sure she knows what this means, and then they go to the letter and very slowly open it, and the first thing they do is they look at the very bottom of the text to see who it's signed from. That fuzzy little bastard. And Niche sees that it's a note from Nemo. And she'll just slowly read through the text, and she's very still while they read through it, and tears slowly start to form in their eyes, and she just, I think, cries very quietly in bed, kind of reading the note a first time, a second time, a third time, committing it to memory.
Is there anything you're going to do right away, or is there anything that anybody else in the group would like to do as you kind of make your way to go to rest for the evening?
As the
Were
group
we-
comes back,
Sorry, yeah, I was just wanting to confirm. Did you were alone when you did that? We didn't see any of that, right?
I think the group would be able to see this because we were sharing the same room. Nisha's not hiding. She doesn't seem embarrassed. Instead, they're just having this moment very quietly, kind of taking in this information. And she seems to be taking a cord of braided, what almost looks like black and white thread. It's fairly long, and she kind of twists it 3 times and slips it around her wrist so that it kind of clacks against the bracelets that she has on. You can come in.
Niche.
Nemo's gone. It's for the best. He needed to go for himself. He had something. First, he had something terrible happen to him, and then something impossible happened. He saw the people he loved and thought were dead. He saw people he thought were stones come back to life, and that's hard for a person to take, you know? So he's taking some time to go and heal and get better and take care of himself.
Well, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. That doesn't mean it's easy on the ones around you. Are you okay?
No, but yes. Happy but furious, but also grateful. He's sad to go. He called you friends, even called you family. Little guy is rough around the edges, but they're kind, and his heart has always been so good. Here, I don't, if you want to read this, you can. And Niche will, or I can read it, I don't care. It's kind, it's lovely.
Yeah, what's it say? If you're up to it.
And Niche will take a couple of long breaths. There's a long moment of silence, and then she'll half read the note and is half just saying it out loud because they've memorized most of it. Hey, Niche, I did 2 things I promised I'd never do. Lie and leave. All I can say is I'm sorry. I'm not good. I'm not strong right now. They shouldn't be alive, but they are. But they're not. But they're still all dead in my head. Noxious killed them all, and I have no one left, but here they are. I don't know if what I saw was a dream or a nightmare, or if the voices are real or in my head, and that confuses me. I'm not strong enough to figure it out. And if I'm not strong, I can't protect you, and if I can't protect you, I'm not any good, and right now, I'm not any good. Gosh, it's emo. And he says, he continues in the note, because there's a bunch of new friends and new family that you need to protect, and who can protect you. And they're way better at this than I am right now. Socks has all that fire. Stretch does that 2-person Whisper Island thing. Io makes everyone stand still and drool. And you're special. You're the most important. You hold everything together and help them when they get hurt. I just make things go bang. I just hurt people. And all the voices tell me to keep hurting people. But now I don't know if I can trust them because I don't know if they're real or if they're a nightmare. Do me a favor. Focus on the rest of our family. Don't worry about me. I promise not to catch on fire or get kicked in the face or fall and slip or jump off of anything anymore. He's lying. I know he's lying, and I hope he's lying. I'm going to go away for a while. I don't know when I'll be back, but I'm going to make sure your plants are watered and that my house is okay. I love you, Niche. You're the greatest family I ever could have hoped for. You're the only one I know is real. It hurts to leave you. And it's signed from my furry little bastard, Nemo. I'm glad he's gone. He needs to be gone, but I miss him.
It's clear how much he means to you, and I'm sorry that you've, for a period of time at least, lost someone so important to you, but know that you're not alone. You have us now.
I'm grateful for each one of you. I am.
Io is just going to sit next to Niche, right beside them, and say,
Niche actually kind of scoots in a little closer and will rest their head on Io's shoulder.
"It's hard. It's hard when we don't get to see the people we love. How about that drink?"
I'm sure you could convince Echo to bring us something good.
I bet I could.
That'd be nice.
So as Io and Niche go to find libation, Arch or Reggie, is there anything the two of you are doing before bedding down for the evening?
I think Arch. I think Arch is gonna make sure that Reggie is good. Like, you know, lay him down in bed, tuck him in if needed, and I don't know, just kind of sit there for a minute to see if Reggie has anything further to say. I'm sorry. I know you look like you were like right about to fall asleep, but then I had to open my mouth and just keep talking. I take the hat off and I kind of like set it back with him and just say, "Look, I would love to keep your hat, you know, but I think that it's been a part of you since I've known you, and it's yours. And until we find you a new one, or nah, you don't need a new one, but like, I still feel like this might help. I mean, plus, like, you know, I gotta like show off the locks and my. Did you notice my beads that are in the hair? I got these like really cool beads in there, and never mind. Anyway,
You think I didn't notice? Of course I noticed. You know, Arch, that decision is yours to make, but if I'm being honest with you, I've never had someone to give my hat to, if that makes sense. And there was something about it that sort of feels nice. But like I said, there's no obligation, no pressure. It's your decision.
well, shucks. I've only ever stolen anything. I haven't really been given much, except for this necklace. But I'll like take the hat and do like a twirl, so it like rotates down the shoulder, and like catch it back on the other and put it on the top, nice and smooth, and just be like, yeah.
Make a sleight of hand check, Arch.
Oh darn!
Oh no!
Oh no! Natural 20. Yes.
Yes.
I will take a picture so you guys. I'm not lying.
Uncharacteristically, very suave and mercurial is this like hat roll around the shoulders, and he kind of flips it up and just catches it on his head and does the very, very well done.
Reggie's just gonna put their hand on Arch's forearm and just give it a little squeeze. And I'm sorry to hear that you haven't really had anybody be there for you in that way. That's you're a really good person, Arch, and you deserve nothing but the best.
See, I've never had it as maybe a stretch. I had it for a brief moment with Sosin. You know, he pulled me from a dark place, and ever since he passed, it's been... I just went right back to what I knew before him. And I think that being around you lot has been kind of an awakening, bringing out some, I don't know, feelings I've never really had since I lost him. And there's something special about you, Reggie. I feel like, I don't know. I felt like I was meant to run into you in particularly. I mean, walking down the street, decide to get in a little trouble for no apparent reason. What are the chances of that, right? I don't know. Sosin used to say something along the lines of, you know, it's terrifying that, like, things I thought I never would forget start to get a little blurry, but he said something along the lines of, that if you love life, life will love you back. And I lost that. Maybe it's time to rethink that. I think you might have lost it too.
I think you're right.
I also could be extremely, like, you know, my brain is all over the place. I literally got blown up in the face. Like, I might need to go to sleep. I don't know. I'm probably making no sense right now. I feel very out of sorts.
Well, if you're not making sense, then you know, I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. Oh,
I don't know what nobody knows.
it made sense to me, but
okay, good. I mean, you know, that's all that matters.
Maybe we're in the same boat.
Mm. All right. Well, let's and he'll like reach over and kind of give him a little tap on the thigh. Let's get some shut eye and go curl up in his cot.
Good night, Arch.
Hi, Reggie. Will not make sense tomorrow too. You know, like old Western style, put the cowboy hat, you know, like over the face as it kind of curls up there.
As all of you in time find your beds for the evening, finally able to get some sleep, reflecting on the last 24, 48, 72 hours of mayhem, with lots more in front of you. Niche Io, you are able to not find Echo. Echo, who knows where he is, but you are able to find an area where you are able to get a couple of drinks. Was there any conversation the two of you wanted to have during the drinks, or do you just kind of drink silently together and then find your way to bed?
At some point, Niche kind of finally starting to collect themselves, batting tears away. Eyes still red, but a lot less puffy. They look at Io. How are you doing with Callisto?
She'll be back. I am hurt. I'm very hurt. But I'll always be able to find her. I found her this time.
I'm glad you did, and I'm sorry it seems more difficult than you'd want it to be.
Very much so. But we endure.
I wish you didn't have to. If there's anything I can do to help with that situation, let me know.
Stick along.
What
Stay
are
by
you
my
going?
side. We'll figure it out.
I can do that.
Do you want a card reading?
Oh gosh, I don't know. You know what? Sure. I've always kind of wanted one.
All right. Niche, roll percentiles for me as Io spreads the small deck out in front of you.
94.
So, Io, as you pull the card from as Niche pulls the card from the deck and flips it over, you have your list. What does she pull?
One moment here.
It is the Fallen Star.
Ah.
It's Reggie's card.
You pulled Reggie's card.
It's
The Fallen
What a
Star.
night.
And it's upward. It tells you to move forward and find truth and meaning. To leave material possessions and greed and probably something that might make you feel whole but no longer need. It's a very introspective and isolating card. It represents a journey. But as the stars may fall, so may we. It's about losing people and finding people and the stories that we make. Feels very fitting.
It does, doesn't it? Your deck, it seems to have a way of knowing. Or perhaps that's always been you.
Perhaps.
I guess cheers to new meanings and moving forward.
Cheers to new stories.
I'll drink to that.
So as the two of you enjoy your beverages and then eventually find yourself falling asleep, Arch. You kind of toss and turn for a little bit, having a difficult time falling asleep, and then all of a sudden you're awake and standing somewhere, even though you were lying asleep seconds before, and you hear a voice from behind you as you're kind of standing trying to figure out its darkness all around you, but not true darkness, almost like a blue light seems to be coming from everywhere at once but nowhere at the same time. And you hear a voice again from behind you. My island. And as you jump and spin around, you see in full corporeal form your late husband, Sosin.
Sosin, you're here again. Oh,
Walks
where
up
are
and
we?
places a hand on your face and,
Return the gesture.
my
Do I
love.
feel anything?
Yep.
Oh,
It's as if he is in fact standing right in front of you.
it's been so long, and I'm
We
lost in your eyes again.
don't have much time. My island. You find yourself on a path I'd hoped to protect you from.
What?
But unfortunately, you're always so good at getting into trouble.
Yeah, you're good at keeping me out, though.
I've been trying to. That's why I couldn't leave. The amulet. And kind of moves his hand from your face and taps on your chest where the amulet is. And it's not there right now.
Oh.
You look down and it's wrapped around your hand, the hand that was laying at your side, and the chain connects to this hand that was at Sosin's side. I made a plea when it happened that I could stay with you and watch over you until I knew you would be safe, and you haven't been safe since. I've been trying to learn how to use these gifts that were given to me by them, and kind of gets like a bitter tone in his voice and a sourish look on his face. I have to remind you of something that I've shielded you from. It's not going to feel good.
It's okay. I mean, I can get through it. You're with me. Even in this
We don't have
strange
time
way.
for your ramblings, and he presses on your forehead, and you feel as if you're shot back out of a cannon, and you kind of land on your butt, and you find all of a sudden your lungs are stinging with smoke, and your eyes burn with smoke, and as you kind of wipe the tears out of your eyes, you find yourself on a bridge. On the bridge that you had just crossed a couple nights before with the friends that you were with, and there's fire and bodies strewn about all around you. And as you kind of stand up and brush yourself off and look around, make a perception check for me.
16?
16. You see an individual with a large tank on their back walking to the far side of the bridge, laughter, and as you are kind of looking around, you look back and you see Reggie standing on the Piltover side of the bridge, face twisted in horror and sadness, tears streaming down his face. And as you go to start moving towards him, which is your instinct, something catches out of the corner of your eye, and you can see across the far side of the bridge, with debris covering a good portion of their body, you see Sosin.
Sosin. I just run over to the body.
As you run, the vision extends out as if you're running down a tunnel that moves on its own and is unable to catch, and you feel a smack and you are back in the darkness. Sosin standing in front of you.
What? Why was Reggie there? What happened to you?
That is where I died, my island. But
But how?
You
Tell
needed
me,
to
tell
know.
me how. Tell me who.
You needed to know that though Reginald was involved, it was not his fault.
What? He was there? He knows? He knows you?
And with a rush, it all comes back to you and Sosin coming back to Piltover to start your new lives after you were wed in Ionia, leaving the war behind and trying to find some sort of peace, an uprising happening between Piltover and Zon, for that's all you knew it to be. Sosin working closely with members of the Council of Piltover and the enforcers, trying to quell the uprising and work on it, trying to disseminate and create peace. Memories of meeting Reginald briefly, never never one-on-one, never really talking, but being in the same areas as him kind of come flooding back, all these missing memories that you didn't have before. And Sosin being the one that was charged with protecting some of the council members when they went to go discuss the peace between Piltover and Zon when the war broke out, when the uprising actually happened. And Sosin wouldn't allow you to go that night, but you found him the next morning, and that is where everything kind of spiraled out of control for you. All of these memories coming back. You must help him. You must stop him.
Oh, I'll stop him, all right.
You help Reginald and the others.
How am I supposed to help him when he's been lying to me this whole time?
Places the hand on your face again. He likely doesn't remember you, Island. You know, you were not the charismatic individual you are today back then. You were still so young and full of hope.
He would surely remember you, and I've said your name 1,000 times. He should have said something to me.
Perhaps the pain was just too much for him to bear.
Wait till I show him some fucking pain.
No, Archibald. That is not what I want. That's not why I showed you this. Showed you this so that you would realize who the true enemy was. Singed betrayed all of us that day. Everyone. It was his fault. And you must stop him. But I must tell you, though I can help, and I will, and the friends are powerful, if you want to stop the larger threat, which is Noxus, Reginald may be the only one who can do it.
Why can you ask me to help him?
He pulls you into a hug. I have to go now, but I am always right beside you.
Don't leave me. Stay with me.
Make a Constitution save for me.
6.
6?
Yeah.
You startle yourself awake, lying in bed in your cot, still feeling the warmth of Sosin. And you remember seeing the bridge. You remember seeing the figure with the large tank on their back. You remember seeing Sosin there, and all of the memories of what had happened, his involvement with the council and everything, but you don't remember Reggie being involved. You don't remember seeing his face on the bridge. And you hear, your whisper is here with you. You must stop him.
Stop him, my love. And then you can rest.
We can rest. And you, without kind of your own, not of your own volition, fall back into a deep sleep. Everybody gets their long rest. You all level up to level 10.
10 hype?
As you awake in the morning, all of you kind of coming to at your own pace. You have a... Is there anything any of you are doing? Sorry, I should ask first as you awake from... I'm going to get Niche and Io to both roll me Constitution saving throws, and we'll see how much you drank last night and how well you're feeling this morning.
Oh, I like that
20.
face, Tim.
20?
That's a natural 1.
Oh no. Io.
Io, you're still quite young. In fact, this might be one of the first times that you've ever had alcoholic beverages. And Niche, though only a few years older than you, has been through some stuff, and for some reason their constitution, you tried to keep pace with them, thinking, oh, you're just having a couple drinks, what's the worst that could happen? You have a splitting headache and nausea. You are going to be at a disadvantage on all mobility-based checks for the next 24 hours. So anything involving dex or strength. Niche. Sorry?
How visibly hungover is Io?
Extremely.
in a corner.
Like,
And just like huddling over and
probably
like,
a bucket,
clutching
dry
their
heaving.
stomach.
Yeah.
like a
Niche when they
cat
wake-
who's trying to.
Niche, when you wake up, you feel fine. You actually, the alcohol probably assisted you, and with the events of the last few days and the interruptions to your sleep by Kindred or by Lamb and Wolf, this is probably the best sleep you've had in you can't remember how long.
Probably made it difficult for those bastards to get into my head. Io, and Niche will notice Io over in her corner, and just slowly come over and then kind of kneel down next to Io. Would you like me to help out with that?
Yes, please.
Yes. No, I'm sorry, but let's get you fixed up. And Niche will reach forward and kind of tuck a loose lock of hair behind Io's ear. And then as she does so, we will see Niche slowly kind of scan that hand then over Io's body, and they appear to be kind of siphoning energy kind of all over from Io. Niche is casting the spell Diagnose and Cure, which cures a disease or a poison that a character is suffering from. So I'm hoping that can count.
It was definitely poisoned. Alcohol is a poison. So as Niche does this, Io, you feel like a wave wash over you, and that sickness and the headache and everything go away. You will not have disadvantage on those checks anymore.
There's definitely like an uncomfortable kind of pulsing in your stomach and then your intestines and then in your kidneys as Niche is kind of poking and prodding and making it run through the system maybe faster than
Like
it should, but hopefully
Yeah,
feel a
you
little
just
bit better.
projectile vomit one more time and it's all... No, I'm joking. All over Niche.
How many times have I in this? I've eaten the wrong things. I've drinking the wrong things.
I'm not the one that does it. It's you. I don't know what to tell you.
suppose.
It's like a
Is there anything Arch and Reggie are doing as
Is
you...
after that night, is it possible that like Arch would have been able to wake up a little bit early? And
Mhm.
like I feel like not remembering the Reggie part, he's like really energetic or ready to go into action. So he like woke up early, like went for like a jog, so like maybe like took off his jacket and shirt and shoes and is like just jogging in the pants like around the tree and stuff, and so like comes back like, all right, we're gonna do this, let's go. Io, are you okay? Nisha's got you. You look good. Yeah, so we got stuff to do. And as you guys because I don't remember who saw before, but like with the shirt off, you see just these like elaborate tattoos all the way up to like half elbow. So if with the sleeves rolled up, typically you wouldn't see them, but they're like kind of covered all over his back and leaving the chest a bit open though. But again, just these very elaborate, almost maze-like details. Yeah. Whew, I went for a run. I'm feeling really good. I'm ready to go kick some ass. Oh, I said the ass. I said it twice.
It's honestly kind of refreshing to be doing this on someone that's not you for once.
Yeah, I kind of feel left out, honestly. You want to give me a little, I pop myself and then like give
Please,
me.
no. Arch, no.
I felt left out. Okay, let me go get my shirt. Hold on.
As you all kind of get dressed and congregate in near your bedding where you fell asleep the night before, you don't have to meet with Heimerdinger and Echo for a little bit while and have time to discuss what you'd all thought.
Okay, I woke up really early. I feel like, whoa, like so much is like, yeah. I don't think I like the dungeon idea. I kind of want to lay the smackdown on someone and let them know that we're ready for the fight. I mean, let's go to Singe's place. Let's steal all his shit. If he doesn't have any shit, even if he does, let's break everything else. Like, let's like Reggie, you could be like, fire, and like set the whole freaking place on fire, and then we can like leave messages and be like, bitch, Arch was here. Ha! I said another word. Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Arch, what has gotten into you?
I feel like my mind is clear. Okay, look, don't tell anybody, but like I had like a chat with Sosin last night. He came to me in my sleep, and I saw everything. I was there on the bridge, breathing in the smoke, and I mean, okay, I saw the bodies. It was
Make another wisdom save for me, Arch.
Wisdom, 14.
Okay. You can now bring Sosin out from your amulet at will. No saves are required anymore.
Okay, so as this is like occurring, as Arch is talking, you see Sosin apparate behind him. Arch has no idea, but you guys can see Sosin is just standing back and eyes just straight at you, Reggie. And then he's like, I was there. I saw everything. The smoke was in my lungs. It was terrible. It was horrible. And I clearly saw him. And I kind of like, I'm looking at Reggie, but like, I saw him standing there in all his vile, villainous, in that big container thing he had. And I don't know what it was. And you see behind him, again, Sosin staring at you, Reggie. He's just shaking his head like, and you see this hand kind of go like that, and then the apparition disappears. And anyway, I'm ready to take him out. Anything we can to clear the wrongs that have been made, and set things right. He needs to pay. Nemo was right. We're gonna kill that mother fudger. Taking steps.
That's certainly a lot to take in.
Yeah.
Okay. So you want to go to Singed Workshop?
That's my vote. But you know what? I'm open to suggestions. If you guys want to do something different, we can go dig in the dungeon. Might find some gold. Who knows? But like, I kind of want to like make a statement.
That's incredible. I don't, do either of you have as strong opinions about if we go find the ancient terror or ancient mechanism, or if we go destroy Singe's things?
Without being explicit about it, it's pretty clear that Reggie's trying to maybe appease Arch a little bit. Well, I think Arch has a really good idea here. I think that might be the right way to go. If I had to vote, I'd probably vote that way.
Arch will like jump in front of Io and then like with his hat like spinning it around in his hand, and he's like, "Come on, what do you say?"
is this guy?
Cause a little chaos.
Yeah. Chaotic. This would be right up your alley, right? I mean, come on, Io, right? All right. I think it's a niche. I mean, you didn't like. I mean, like I was like getting that that's what you want to do. So like, is it unanimous?
It is the wrong
Yes.
call, I'm pretty
Oh.
sure,
Thank
to go and fuck with Singe directly, at least now. It is, however, what I want to go and do. I've been trying to track him down for years now, and that conversation with Casker was the closest I've been in forever, and I can't say I'm not jumping at the idea of going and collapsing or blowing up or doing whatever we can to make sure he can never step foot in there again. But there is the consequence of it telling people we are coming. It does sound the alarm. So if we do this, we need to be fast and we need to be precise and we need to be ready for whatever comes next, because once we do this, there will be no rest. There will only be constant deliberate action.
Oh, I just had another light bulb go off. What if we leave it to the dice? I mean, we could do the roll. Highs and lows.
I mean, oh gosh. I'd be fine with that. I mean, all of us do want to go and tell Singe what is what. And if perhaps we can orchestrate something where he is there and we can take him out alone, right? We deal with Singed as a single person instead of having to deal with Singed and Jericho and Gasker all at once. That could work out if we are careful and if we are lucky. We could also roll and see if we go talk to some ancients, whatever.
I think
But-
you already voted. So like, yeah, we're gonna go do that. Also, one more question. I promise I'm paying attention. Who's Jericho? I mean, like, there's Singe and Casker and Swain.
Oh gosh. So during the
What?
Jericho is the first name of
Casker.
Swain.
I've never known. Oh. Okay.
Casker's first name is Sullivan.
Oh yeah, because I call him Salt. Sorry, I got bumped in the head pretty hard yesterday. Okay, anyway.
I am going to take a look at that before we leave here.
Okay, yeah, sweet. We're gonna mess some stuff up. If Nemo was with us, he'd say, "Ha!" Oh, I can't do it. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it was nice. I mean, it was horrible to listen to, but it was nice.
He's still here with us, you know.
Is there anything anyone would like to do before going to find Heimerdinger and Echo with your decision? No?
No, that was a lot.
Drinks
So-
a lot of water.
So as you're making your way over, Io, you're kind of walking with the group, and you hear from your bag at your side, "Hey, Io, you there? Over."
Io is just looking around, not.
You're the
Yes?
God.
Hello?
Io, are you there? Over.
Do I say over? Hello?
Io, I'm in
Over.
your bag. Over.
Who is in my bag? Pull-
Reach into your bag. You pull out a small device. It is black and has a button on the side and kind of looks like a Niche, make a computers check for me as you kind of glance over as you're walking with Io and see her pull this thing out, and she's just talking to midair.
17.
It is a communication device.
You press
Io.
the button to respond.
Io, what the fuck? Where are you? Over.
So you press the button to. Okay.
Yes. And then you talk, and then when you're done talking, you say over, and then you stop pressing the button, and then you wait.
Io! God damn it. Okay, I'll try later. Over.
No. Over.
God, it took you long enough. What are you doing? I was calling you for like 2 minutes. Over.
Well, I wasn't expecting a call. Over.
Oh my gosh. I slipped it in your bag before I left last night. I wanted to be able to still chat with you whenever I could. Over.
I'm glad to hear your voice. Oh, over. Why are we saying over?
Well, because if we both try... Are you still holding the button after you said over?
I'm just holding the button
You hear
the
nothing.
entire time.
You hear nothing. And then when you release the button, you hear... You can't... Over.
I can't what? Over.
Let go of the button. Let go. Of
You
the
can't...
button.
We can't both talk at the same time. This is pretty rudimentary tech. If one of us is pressing the button and the other one presses the button, then neither of us will hear each other, so we have to say over to indicate that the other person can respond. For fuck's sakes, over.
You're the one who does the technology. I am not. Over.
Yeah, I know. That's why... Oh my gosh. Niche, if you're with her and you can hear me, can you please help her with this? Like... Damn, over.
Niche flashes Iowa thumbs up. You're doing fine. You're getting it.
Okay, anyway. Look, I'm heading out on a mission here. That's why I'm able to talk to you, because I'm by myself right now. I'm gonna be out at radio contact for a couple days, but it's getting real fucked up topside, sis. Real fucked up. Over.
Well, we were planning on fucking it up a little bit more. Possibly, but if that is maybe not what we should be doing. Over.
Oh my god. I mean, I would personally just tell you to stay where you are and wait, but that won't work either. I'm working on a plan to stop this, but I don't know if I'll be back in time because I gotta do this fucking thing to keep my cover. I came pretty close to blowing it last night, but luckily I was able to smooth things over a little bit.
You know how bad I am at staying still.
And you hear over.
Over.
What? What the fuck? Okay, look. Just don't get yourself killed. Tell Niche and Nemo and Reggie and Arch that if anything happens to you, I will hunt all of them down and they'll never see the bullet coming. I gotta fucking go. I will radio you later when I'm back. Over.
Noted. And I love you. Over.
Fucks. I love you too, sis. Oh my god. Over and out. And you hear the radio go silent as the four of you make your way. So I will send you the details on the instrument that was slipped into your bag by your sister the previous night. But I'll send that to you off screen. So as you all make your way back up, you find Heimerdinger and Echo at the same table in the workshop already eating what appears to be a decent breakfast.
Arch busts in. Jaime! Echo! We are ready to do this. Whoa, you have breakfast. Hold on. We need breakfast first. It gives you more energy. Can we have some breakfast?
Well, you seem to be in high spirits this morning, my boy. That's fantastic. You're going to need all of the positive energy that you can get. Yes, please. We made sure there was enough for everybody. Come, sit down.
Biscuits. Do you have honey? I like more sweet on the. And I'll figure it out.
So you sit down to a pretty decent spread. Nothing overly fancy. They are kind of underground and work with what they have, but for what they're available, it's nothing lavish like the breakfast that you had at Casker's a couple days ago, but still decent enough that you will be able to fill your stomachs. So as you all kind of make your plates and eat, there's not a ton of conversation that happens. Again, and once you get closer to finishing, Heimer kind of pushing his plate back. Well, I hate to ask, but it seemed as if all of you were fairly on board with the information that I brought to you yesterday, and have you made a decision on what you'd like to pursue, or would you just like to leave? It's entirely up to you, after all.
Well, I think Nisha's going to explain it perfectly.
You were the one who really championed the idea that we're going for, so...
I mean, but you're the one that likes to talk, and you're kind of like the only one that actually has direction.
Echo, kind of puts a cup down on the table, kind of cutting you off. Io, what's happening?
I am not the one.
You are the only one that has ever made sense out of this entire group as far as I'm concerned, so are you leaving? Are you going to help us? Are you going to go check out the caverns? Are you going to go to Singed's shop? What are you doing?
Well, we are definitely not leaving.
Okay, see? More information than I've gotten in ever since you walked in.
We do intend to take a possible risk and go to Singe.
Wait, where's the little guy? Where'd he go?
He has a different fight to win.
So it's just the four of you then.
So he is leaving.
You said 5
We
because
didn't
you were
know.
counting yourself,
That
right?
this is quite the conundrum. It will be more difficult without his. What I gleaned were very specific skills, but never mind. You have Reginald, and I'm sure Arch is good for something.
Hey, Jaime, he taught me how to
Io,
shoot.
honestly, okay, so it's just the four of you, that's fine. And sorry, you never actually got to the point of where you were going. You're gonna take a risk, and kind of looks and just holds a finger up to you, Arch. Nope, not even, you're not allowed to talk anymore. And kind of goes back to you, Io.
It was actually his idea in the first place.
That's
But
great, I want to hear it today, though, so...
We're going to his shop. Hopefully, to find a way to destroy everything inside of it.
And preferably with him inside it.
Preferably.
Heimerdinger kind of nods. I can see why you would want to take that route. As I said, it will be giving our other enemies a little bit of a warning, but perhaps we can do enough damage to ensure that we still have the upper hand even if they see us coming. Very well. There's probably a couple things you should know, and kind of gets up and... Niche, please, follow me for a moment. And kind of starts walking towards his workbench and walks up the stairs. Echo kind of just sitting back and... Okay, well, I'm gonna go take a small crew of mine today and go and check out just how bad things are in Piltover. The bridge is completely locked down again. I'm hearing words that they've enacted like a curfew and everything, and the enforcer presence is back up here in Zon. I think they're looking for some people that broke out of prison last night, which is understandable. Luckily, I don't think they haven't found this place yet. Knock on wood. Kind of reaches over and knocks on Arch's head. Yeah, so I'm gonna go take some of my best guys and go check it out and see exactly what we might be dealing with while you guys are gone.
Arch raises his hand. He's like waving it.
Not another word. And as Niche, you get up and walk over to the workbench, Heimer has spread out several blueprints. I trust you know how to read these? Yes?
Easily, yes. Not, well, yes.
You can make a investigation check for me if you'd like. And because you are proficient in engineering, you can make it at advantage.
That is a 24.
24. They appear to be the blueprints for certain triggers and release devices. I never really was a fan of the way that Singed did his work, but he did have some very good ideas. These blueprints, unfortunately, as you can see, and you can, are incomplete. The finished ones are in his possession, as are the prototypes for some of the things that we were working on before we parted ways. I think I can come up with some quite useful things if you can salvage these from the shop when you're there and bring them back to me. Things that you can use to help when you go to take back Piltover.
Niche scans over the blueprints. Do they use Chemtech?
No. These do not use Chemtech. These look like very early, just straight mechanical designs. How the finished blueprints look, you're not sure. But these ones anyway, the prototype unfinished blueprints look all 100% mechanical in nature, something you're very familiar with.
Niche will thumb through the different blueprints, kind of looking at each one for a while, clearly studying them. All right. Can't make any promises about how things are going to go once we get there, but this can certainly be on the to-do list.
Excellent. Bring back what you can. I'm still working on some other things that might prove useful to all of you. I do have these, and kind of pulls over a box and opens it, and takes out this metallic-looking orb. It looks like it's steel with bands wrapped around it that kind of coil up into a ball at the top, like a small antenna is coming out of them. If you find yourselves in serious trouble, perhaps using one of these will assist. It should partially stun anybody that is caught in the blast radius when you throw it, which is... I'm not sure yet. I'm still kind of working on them, but He gives you 4 of these devices, Niche. There's still some other things I'm working on that will depend heavily on what you can bring back from Singe's shop and the information that I get from Echo should he be successful in his mission today. I know it's nowhere near enough, but I'm hoping I'm stepping on the right path to face up to the mistakes that I've made. And we'll keep walking it.
Make no mistake, I have also made my fair share of unsavory choices as I have followed Singed. What is important is that we continue to walk this path. These are helpful, thank you.
I agree, my dear. Okay, Arch, fine. You can say one thing, before you break your shoulder. Oh my god.
What time is the curfew? I mean, I don't want to be up there in Piltover and we get in trouble because we're after curfew. I think it's important information to know.
I'm going back to Io. You're the only one that can talk to me again. Okay. I gotta go take care of my stuff, and Echo pushes up from the table and kind of walks past and places a hand on your shoulder. Io, be careful, okay?
Holds his arm as it's placed on her shoulder and says, "We've lost enough people. Let's not lose you."
Ditto. You feel a squeeze on your shoulder as he kind of lingers for a moment, and then at the same time you both release and walk away. Niche comes back to the table with Heimerdinger kind of giving a nod as Echo passes. Well, included in those blueprints that I gave you is what we believe to be the location of Singed's workshop, lair. I don't know what madmen like him use as. I don't know. I will stay here and keep working on things and hopefully come up with more useful items for hopefully all of you to use as we try and restore the balance and bring peace back to these 2 cities. Walks on the table over to you, Reginald, and places a hand on your shoulder. Best of luck, my boy. And kind of leans over and gives you a hug. And that is where we're going to end our match for this evening.
Ooh.
Thank you all so much for watching this. We're on the YouTube now. Well, we've always been on the YouTube, but these are only going to be on the YouTube. Thank you so much to my... I am L, Street Gaming, your GM for Become Legend. Thank you so much to my wonderful cast, Arch, piloted by the always wonderful Friggins, Reggie, portrayed by the wonderfully faced Kajere, the always getting herself into trouble Io, played by Kim Grimm, and the thespian actress Niche, played by the wonderful Sarah L. Kinney. Make sure you tune in to see how the assault on Sin's shop goes. And until the next time our champions rise and try and become legend, have a wonderful night.